Hi, good morning. How y'all doing? Thanks for tuning in to Wicked Warnings, your number one source for construction and emergency safety strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, bicycles, tricycles, SUVs. Brand new 2021 Ford Super Duty F250 XLT trim line, like this beautiful black beast you see in front of you. Now, this particular truck is one of many. You might notice a couple of other black Super Duties looking very similar in our video gallery. One big company, Trumbull, has a lot of these new black trucks, doing them all up real nice. This particular owner wanted to be a little different, wanted to be a little unique, wanted to stick out from the crowd, wanted to do his different. So we worked with him. It is getting a snowplow. So we kept the front pretty simple. We've got some 3-inch M-Power amber whites mounted right there, top of the grill. We've got that on the inner cycle pattern, which is what you see there with the color variation. It's a 2-color light. You can get those M-Powers in a couple different configurations. They're a sticky mount. They mount very easily right there on the grill. Drill in one hole. Now below that, for a little bit of side warning, you'll see our low dome HAW Duo. Now that small 1-inch round light down in the fog bezel normally is used inside of a factory light. However, when you have a very tight mounting area where not much will fit, you can drill a 1-inch hole and back mount the hideaway. And when we turn the light off and show you the bezel of this fog light, you'll see exactly what I mean. There's only about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches square of usable plastic for mounting, and just so happens the hideaway back mounts there quite nicely. Alrighty, so here's your side shot. Now you can kind of see what I mean about that hideaway. Of course, being a snowplow truck, our primary focus is going to be rear and side. I like to get a little bit of side in the front and a little bit of side all the way in the back. That way, when it's very dark out and you're coming up on this vehicle 90 degrees and all you see is the dark black side profile, you can at least see exactly how long this truck really is. It's a long bed 4-door. She's got a little bit of length to her. So with having the amber light flashing right in the fog bezel there, and as you can see around the back there, we have a TIR flashing on the side of the tail light. Here's just a little better shot. You can kind of see what I mean about having the forward and backward light. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the shop lights for you just to show you what it would look like in the dark. And we got a nice rainy day here in Chicago, so it's quite dark in the shop with the shop lights off. Usually we don't have this kind of luxury. I got some nice skylights now, and they're usually drowning it out with natural sunlight. As you can see here though, if it was pitch black outside, of course the truck's headlights may be on, but this will give you a clear indication of the front and the back of this vehicle. You can also notice there on top our auto flasher kit running those cab clearance lights. You might have seen that in the beginning of this video. That's a very easy install right in the passenger A-pillar. It takes about 15 minutes and you need to cut one factory wire. Extremely easy to find and extremely low risk right in the passenger A-pillar to get those 5 cab clearance lights to flash with our auto flasher kit, and very affordable, I might add, as well. Now you might notice something that I do quite often missing on this truck, and that would be the badges. This particular client, as I said, wanted to be different, wanted to be unique, and didn't want the badges. He said all the other trucks in the fleet have those badges already, and he just didn't want them on his. So we went with just the simple TIR3 in amber underneath the side tail in the back there, and the HAW Duo low dome in the fog bezel. I really like that for side warning on these trucks. If you happen to have a 20 plus Super Duty with these particular halogen headlight fog light combo, you may want to look into that low dome hideaway as well. In the front we have it in amber, but we also have that in all colors. If you want a purple or a green, we've got that. If you want a red or a blue, we've got that. We've also got white too. The same goes for our TIR3. The only color we're lacking on the TIR3 around back would be purple, but we do have that in a Lin 6, which would fit in the very same spot. So we have all color combinations available for these side warning lights that are shown on the Super Duty. Alrighty, before I forget, I want to remind you all that this is build number 19511. Again, this is build 19511, and that is dash shop. 19511 dash shop. And you can kind of notice underneath the tailgate there, we have our 15.5-inch Thin-X strip that comes amber and white, alternates color. It's selectable if you wanted to flash only amber, or if you wanted to flash only white, you could do that too. Hell, I mean, you could even put the amber on one switch and the white on another switch if you elected to do that. These Thin-X LED strips are actually a 3-function, 3-pattern emergency light with flood override. So it actually has 4 functions. You have a flash pattern to set for amber only, a flash pattern to set for white only, a flash pattern to set for amber and white, which you can see here, as well as a steady white flood override. Now, this particular client didn't have any interest in the flood override. He wanted to keep the warning extremely simple. One switch, all warning, nothing else. So that's what we did. We have one single switch, and you can also see this particular client had already added a few floodlights underneath the rear bumper, so he really doesn't need any steady burn white on any of his emergency lighting. Now, above that, in the cargo light, that happens to be a halogen cargo, the incandescent cargo from the factory. This is a non-LED, which allowed us to insert amber hideaway strobes, just like the front. That's our LD Hideaway Duo, HAWDUO, in the cargo light. By using the LD, we're able to remount the factory incandescent light next to it and retain that function. So we did not have to lose any function with the incandescent cargo. This will be different if you have an LED cargo. So if you have an LED cargo and you wanted to get a colored warning like we're showing here, you'll need to remove all of the LED, the white LED, in order to put the amber in, and you will lose that function. A little difference between the incandescent cargo on the XLT trim and lower and the LED cargo on many of the upper trims as far as what you can do with it. I'm going to zoom in and show you a little bit more about what I mean. So what I mean is, as you can see right now, you have the amber flashing, and if I walk up and open the door, you can see the white lights are mounted on the side, so we did not lose that functionality. We still have our amber flashing, as well as our white door open light or cargo light. You can only do that with the incandescent cargo. If you have a white LED, you will not be able to retain both functions. And of course, as you can see, when we close the door, the white incandescent goes out and the strobing will remain in effect as long as the switch is on. This is all controlled by a factory auxiliary switch number 3. Fairly simple, fairly easy. So you can do this particular build on your own. What we're going to do here is we're going to bundle all of these parts together, and we're going to put it into a pre-made bundle. And I want to be specific that that's a bundle of parts. This is not a pre-manufactured kit where all of the terminations are all done for you and everything plugs in. That is not the case. What you're going to get here is a link to a bundle to all of these parts with some bulk wire, and you're going to need to do the connection, the pattern setting, and the particular wiring on your end of the equation. We're going to send you all the parts, but it's up to you to put them together. So do keep that in mind, that there is some assembly required in our bundles, and we simply give you this video as a diagram of how we did it. Certainly, you can choose your own flash patterns. You can change things up. I mean, hell, you could even go with different colors. It's all good. But we're going to throw this all together as a bundle. So if you like this build and you just want to get exactly this, we're going to put in the auto flasher kit for the roof lights. That's a comprehensive, all-inclusive kit. Comes with everything you need except a switch. Of course, we're using the factory switch here. And below that, you're going to get 2 sets of our low dome hideaway, one for the front fog and one for the cargo. You're also going to get 2 of the M-Power 3-inch amber whites you see in the grill there, and 2 of the TIR 3s you see underneath the side tails, as well as 2 of the Thin-X amber white 15.5 strips you saw underneath the tailgate. We're going to roll in 25 feet of 22-5 to extend your TIR 3s and possibly your M-Powers in the grill. We're also going to roll in 50 feet of 18-5. That'll give you enough to extend the hideaway that's in the cargo light forward. It'll also give you enough to extend the Thin-X strips under the tailgate forward. And you can feel free to tie in the TIR 3s to the same power as the Thin-X strips like we did, or not. This is your call. You'll be installing it, and you can decide how you want it switching. If you want the rear on a separate switch, no problem with that. If you need extra supplies, please be sure to check out our adhesive-lined heat shrink as well as our tools and accessories, and you can get everything you need. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for tuning in to Wicked Warnings, your number one source for construction and emergency safety strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, trucks, bicycles, tricycles, everything in between, including this beautiful 21 F250. I think I'm going to get me one of these trucks pretty soon. I just think I might get the 22 with the big radio. If you got a truck, drop a comment. Are you driving a brand new 22 Super Duty? Are you looking at this video, thinking about what you want to do to your own truck? Drop a comment. Let me know what you're doing. Send us a picture. We also put these WeatherGuard toolboxes in that fuel pump in this truck a little while ago when it was first purchased. If you need big things like toolboxes or fuel pumps, let us know. We'll be able to get your transfer tanks and your toolboxes and your bed liners and your bed covers and your camper shells and your lift kits and your tires and rims all locally. We don't ship anything large like that, but we can certainly take care of it. Your steps, if you want to go with some Amp Research power steps, we can do that too. As again I said, check the bundle for all of these parts to get your own bundle package, some assembly required. I hope this was informative. If I was missing any information, drop a comment. I'll try to remind you and get you the information you need. Once again, this was build number 19511-shop here in the Wicked Warnings shop. And if you like this beautiful black truck, take a gander through our gallery and see some of the other beautiful black ones that we did for the same company. Thanks again for watching Wicked Warnings. I'll see you on the next video. Build number 19511.